The corridors of French court glowed with candlelight, but Mary Stuart had long learned that the greatest danger in this place was not darkness, it was brilliance. Lies sparkled brighter than jewels here. Secrets danced behind silk fans. And destiny, in all its cruelty, hid behind soft smiles. She took a long breath as the doors to the council room closed behind her. The whispers of her ladies faded, replaced by the muffled heartbeat of a castle that had shaped her since childhood. Another day in paradise, she murmured. Paradise, a familiar voice teased. Or a theater stage where we're all dressed for a play that no one remembers writing. Mary turned to find Francis, leaning against a stone pillar, the faintest smile curving his lips. His eyes, bright, warm, endlessly gentle, held hers the way they always had. And Mary felt, as she always did near him, that she could breathe again. But time had taught her a brutal truth. The court was a stage, yes. But she was the one always thrown into the spotlight, even when she begged for the shadows. You look troubled, Francis said softly. Mary laughed without humor. Just wondering who wrote my life this time. God. Fate. Some court historian. Or, perhaps, some dramatist determined to turn my tragedy into entertainment. Francis blinked, confused. Mary, what? Oh, nothing, she sighed. Just the realization that my entire life feels like a story someone keeps rewriting with no regard for reality. And yet she knew, no writer, no poet, no dreamer could ever fully capture the complexity of her world. Not even the most dramatic showrunner. If French court was a stage, then Catherine de Medici was its master director. She was already waiting for Mary in the council room, dressed in black and gold, her gaze sharp enough to slice through steel. Behind her, tapestries told stories of Roman triumphs, but Mary suspected Catherine preferred the ones that illustrated betrayal. You're late, Catherine said, not looking up. Mary raised an eyebrow. I wasn't aware we were meeting. We weren't, Catherine replied smoothly. But chaos has erupted again, so here we are. Francis stepped in beside Mary, his posture tense. Chaos meaning, politics. Intrigue. Another assassination attempt. Catherine waved her hand. No. Worse. Rumors. Mary exhaled. Rumors are the court's favorite sport. Indeed, Catherine agreed. But today's variety concerns you, Mary. Romantic entanglement. She paused delicately. With a man who does not exist. Mary stared. A man who, Catherine, what are you talking about? Catherine's lips twitched. Apparently someone in court has decided that you are embroiled in a dramatic, forbidden love triangle. Francis coughed. With who? Catherine leaned back, enjoying their confusion. Some mysterious, handsome figure named Sebastian. Mary frowned. Who? Catherine sighed. Exactly. No record. No family. No role. Pure fiction. Mary's voice rose. Someone invented a man, just to complicate my life. Catherine nodded. It appears even reality is not dramatic enough for some people. Mary rubbed her temples. Wonderful. My life has become entertainment. While Mary and Francis argued about fictional love triangles, King Henry II was busy trying to avoid his wife. He preferred the company of Diane de Poitiers, the elegant, calculating woman who had served as his mentor, lover, and political advisor for decades. Diane walked 2 steps ahead of him, her gown trailing like moonlight. Henry, Diane said, your queen is furious again. She's always furious, Henry responded lazily. She's planning something, Diane warned. Henry groaned. She's always planning something. That should concern you, Diane snapped. Henry paused. And what is she planning now? Diane turned, her expression grave. She's rewriting history. Henry blinked. Pardon? She claims I'm too old, Diane said with a huff. Too dramatic. Too influential. She says no one will believe the truth of our relationship. Henry squinted. But all of that is true. Diane glared at him. That's not the point. Henry turned away. Everyone here is rewriting history today. Mary has imaginary lovers. Nostradamus is claiming visions again. Catherine is creating conspiracies that even the devil couldn't imagine. I'm beginning to think, Diane said slowly, that this court is trapped inside a story someone else is writing. Henry laughed. Diane, what nonsense. But a shadow moved behind them. Nostradamus stepped forward, eyes distant, voice trembling. Not nonsense, he whispered. A prophecy. Mary found Nostradamus in his chambers, scribbling frantically, ink splattered like blood on parchment. You saw a vision? Mary asked softly. He nodded. Not a vision of the future. A vision of distortion. Mary approached. Tell me. Nostradamus inhaled shakily. Some unseen force is altering your path. Twisting it. Dressing it in silk, scandal, and intrigue. They show you as a girl of fantasy, not a queen of history. Mary froze. What do you mean? Nostradamus held up a page. She is rewritten, he whispered, as a character. Beautiful. Dramatic. Entirely wrong. Mary stared at the words. Queen of Scots, trapped in fiction. Is it my destiny? She breathed. No, Nostradamus said firmly. It is not destiny. It is a performance. What do you see of the real path? She asked. Nostradamus hesitated. I see loss, he said softly. Struggles. Betrayal by your own blood. A son you love. A cousin who fears you. A kingdom that breaks you. A life far more tragic, far more powerful than any story could portray. Mary's throat tightened. And Francis, she whispered. Nostradamus looked away. Your love is real, he said. But it is brief. Mary felt the world sway. But this place, these people, Nostradamus continued, they are being painted with colors not their own. Francis is made to be perfect. Diane is softened. Catherine is made a villain. You are made a naive girl whose crown is a costume. Mary clenched her fists. Then I must reclaim my story. Mary summoned them all, Francis, Catherine, Henry, Diane, and even Nostradamus. They gathered around the long oak table, confused but silent as Mary began. I have discovered, Mary declared, that our lives are being rewritten. Francis frowned. Rewritten by who? By storytellers, Mary said. By artists who thrive on drama. They turn us into entertainment. Catherine snorted. I told you we were all characters. Henry groaned. Is this another political crisis? Mary shook her head. Worse. A historical crisis. Diane raised an eyebrow. How dramatic. I'm not exaggerating. Mary snapped. They say Francis and I had endless romance, though we were barely married. They say you, she pointed at Henry, ignored war and politics to chase Diane like some lovesick poet. She turned to Catherine, and you, they portray you as a witch. Catherine stiffened. I am many things, Mary, but I am not a witch. They invent lovers for me, Mary continued. Erase tragedies. Create conspiracies. Change timelines. And for what? To make my life easier. More glamorous. No, just more dramatic. Francis took her hand gently. What do you propose? He asked. Mary lifted her chin. That we reclaim our truth. The palace transformed. Tapestries that once showed fictional battles now displayed real ones. Portraits restored their true colors. Costumes lost their glitter and returned to historical textures. Conversations shifted from romantic melodrama to actual political strategy. Mary stood before her court, dressed not in a shimmering modern gown but in the dark, heavy garments of her time. "I am Mary Stuart," she declared. "A queen, not a character." Francis stepped beside her, frail but proud. "I am Francis," he said. "Not a perfect prince, but a boy king whose crown weighed more than the world understood." Catherine's voice followed. "I am no sorceress. I am a mother who fought to keep her children alive in a world that devoured the weak." Henry spoke next. "I was a soldier and a king, not a love-struck fool." Diane lifted her chin. "I was a power in court, yes. But not an invincible enchantress." Finally, Nostradamus whispered. "And I saw truths, not theatrics." The hall fell silent. Mary looked up. "You may enjoy the stories told about us," she said softly. "The corsets. The passion. The chaos. But know this, our true lives were more complicated, more painful, more beautiful than fiction ever allowed." She placed a hand over her heart. "We lived history. We bled for it." As Mary prepared to leave the French court, just as she would in real life, she stood on the balcony overlooking the gardens. Francis, fragile but smiling, joined her. "You changed everything today," he said. She shook her head. "No. I only revealed what was already there." He exhaled. "Mary, do you ever wish things were like the stories? Easier? Happier?" She smiled sadly. "Sometimes. But then, those stories would never show the true strength of a queen." Francis touched her cheek gently. "You are the bravest person I know." Tears pricked her eyes. "And you," she whispered, "are the great love of my life." Francis rested his forehead against hers. "I wish I could walk the rest of this path with you." Mary's voice cracked. "I know. But at least," Francis whispered, "your legacy will be real." Mary closed her eyes. "And yours will be remembered. Centuries later. People still speak of Mary, Queen of Scots. Of her courage. Her tragedy. Her fire. They remember her not as the girl in glittering gowns running through candlelit halls, but as the queen who fought impossible battles, the woman whose life shaped nations, the mother whose son became the king who united crowns. The real story. The powerful one. The one that no fiction, not even rain, could ever contain. History remembers her. And it remembers her truth.